What's up? This is EasyOSX, and today I'm showing you everything you need to know about the Siri Remote. It was released in 2021 and it comes with the Apple TV 4Ks. Let's start by going top to bottom. At the very top, you'll have a black band, which is where the IR or infrared transmitter is located. It's used for controlling your TV and other devices. Now onto the face of the remote, at the top right you have a dedicated power button for turning off and on the Apple TV box as well as the actual TV screen. Just press and hold the power button to turn off the TV and the box, and press it to turn the TV and box back on. Just to the left of it, you notice a little gap here, which is the microphone if you want to use it for Siri or the voice-to-text features. Below that, you have one of the biggest draws to the new remote, the new navigation controls and touchpad. Now, like the previous Apple remote, this is a touch-capable sensor, so you can just swipe across with your fingers to move around the interface. But now, you also have dedicated clickable arrow keys, so you can press these arrows, or even hold them, to move more quickly around the interface. By default, you can click the arrows or swipe around. But if you want to turn off the swiping feature and only click the arrow keys, you can do that just by going into the Settings app, hitting Remotes and Devices, and at the top clicking on Touchpad and selecting whatever you prefer. Note that if you hit click only, the touch surface tracking option will be grayed out below, and no swipes work whatsoever. If you like swiping but want to adjust how sensitive it is, hitting touch surface tracking and adjusting the speed of this will help you there. The center circle of the touchpad is a clickable button, and this is what you'll use to click on and select things, or to act as the OK button. Before we leave this section, let's go back to the home screen. If I press and hold the center button on an app, it'll put the app into jiggle mode, which I can then use to move around and even put an app on top of another one to make a folder. I can also press the play pause button on the remote to bring up options, such as to quickly move it into another folder, to make a new folder from this, or to delete the app from the TV entirely. Below that, we have a new looking button and a familiar one. The new button is the back button, taking the place of the previous menu button. It acts exactly the same, but now it's a little clearer what it does. Hitting this, as the name implies, will take you back to the previous screen. If you're watching a video and tap the back button, you'll be taken out of the video player and into the app's video selection screen. If you press and hold the back button, however, it'll take you right back to the home screen. Next to this is the familiar TV button. What this does depends on your settings, but the default press will launch the Apple TV app. You could change this though to take you back to the home screen by going into the Settings app and under Remotes and Devices, clicking on the TV button, which will just toggle between the options. In either case, pressing and holding the TV button will bring up the sidebar on the right, where you can control whose profile or Apple account you're signed into, put the TV to sleep, see what music or audio is playing, access your Apple Home commands, control AirPlay, and activate the Spotlight search function. If you double tap the TV button, it'll take you to the app switcher, which if you use an iPhone, iPad, or an Android device will look fairly familiar. Like those platforms, this will allow you to quickly hop between apps instead of having to navigate through the home screen. But you can also swipe up on the frontmost app to fully close that app. You shouldn't have to do this much, but in the event you get an app that really isn't working right, you have a way to force it close and stop its misbehaving. Continuing down the remote, on the right hand side, we have the volume up and down buttons, which will adjust the volume of your TV. For most TVs, this will happen automatically, but if it doesn't, you'll want to make sure HDMI CEC is enabled on your TV. It can go under other names, such as Bravia Sync on Sony TVs or Simplink on LG TVs, so you may need to look up that name on your particular brand of TV. You'll also want to make sure this is enabled on the Apple TV by going to the Remotes and Devices section of the Settings app, scrolling to the bottom, and making sure Connect TVs and Receivers is turned on. Likewise, check that volume control is enabled, and if need be, hit Learn New Device and follow the prompts on the screen. To the left of the volume controls, we have the play pause button that will, to no one's surprise, play or pause the media you're watching. It has the one extra function to bring up some options on apps in jiggle mode, which I've shown already. Below the play pause button, another long requested feature is here, a dedicated mute button. So now, instead of having to hold the volume down button, you can instead hit this to just quickly mute whatever you're watching. Now, if you've used the previous Apple TV remote, you'll remember that instead of a mute button, there was a microphone button that you could use for voice to text or Siri. That has now moved on the right-hand side of the remote, up near the navigation controls. You can press and hold this to activate Siri. Or, if you're typing something in an app, you can press and hold it when prompted to speak and have the Apple TV transcribe that into the text box. Siri also provides some other useful functions. Some are obvious, such as launching an app, pausing your media, but you can also access other functions, such as controlling your compatible smart home devices. Turn on the bookshelf lamp. Checking on the weather. What's the weather in Tokyo? And my personal favorite, asking Siri, what does she say? Which will rewind the video and turn on captions briefly so I can understand what was spoken. Finally, at the base of the device is a little lightning port that you use for charging the remote. This is the same cable you use on your iPhone and some iPads, and I've got a video more about that, which you can click on in the top right hand corner of the screen. Thank you all so much for watching. If this video helped you out, then give it a like, it'll really help the channel out. Likewise, if you want more Mac, iOS, and other Apple tips, tricks, and advice, you can subscribe to the channel. You can also check me out on the website, EasyOSX.net, as well as on the social media pages. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.